Hey, this is Doc Yates. I'm a naturopathic doctor, registered acupuncturist, and a kinesiologist, owner of the Yates Naturopathic Clinic, and the founder of the interactive health website, Able Health. And this is the Simply Health Podcast, a show for females where I work to simplify and demystify the secrets of achieving optimal health naturally, based on my own experience in working with thousands of female patients over the past 15 years of my clinical practice. Welcome to Simply Health. Hey, this is Doc Yates, and thanks for joining me on the drive today on the Simply Health Podcast, brought to you by ablehealth.us. And today's podcast, again, focusing for perimenopause and menopausal females, we are going to double back, and reattack weight loss. So the big thing I want to get across for this is that when you're dealing with weight loss, you cannot focus on the scale alone, especially when you're dealing with healthy weight loss. Because a healthy weight loss program with the right type of diet will not just be dropping weight every week. We're going to also be improving your health, which generally means there's going to be some improvement with muscle tone. So generally speaking, when someone goes for weight loss, their practitioner would just say, cut back on calories, put down the fork, done. That typically doesn't work, especially for perimenopause and menopause, I've found. There's a lot more to it than that. And I've been running a weight loss program through my clinics for over 15 years now, so I've got to really fine-tune and adjust as we've gone over the years and all the nuances that can play a role here. So, and the main thing is I really want to just save you the frustration. Because when you're losing weight and you're doing it this way, especially the way that we do it through Able Health, is that there's going to be weeks sometimes where you're going to feel frustrated because it seems like the scale has not moved. However, this is why it's so important to focus also on your clothes, how they're fitting, and on measurements. And we're going to go into that in a few more details because there's times where if they get frustrated and they feel like they want to quit, and then we do a measurement, it's like, oh, by the way, you lost 3 inches between your waist, hips, and legs today. And they're like, oh, and then it's like an instant change in their mindset. They're like, oh, okay, that was actually a really good week, and I came in here really frustrated. So again, we want to focus on you do want to focus on the scale, but you can't rely on only the scale. So let me go into the diet. The main thing is there will be some calorie cutting, but it's about what you're cutting the calories from. You don't want to just cut calories across the board. And if you're cutting out all the healthy fats and proteins, and I've seen a lot of diets around that I won't mention that do this, and what I see with those clients is, yeah, they lose weight, but they're losing a lot of muscle mass, and they look gaunt, and they look less healthy than when they even started. And that is what they feel worse than when they even started. That is what we really want to avoid. So when you're cutting the calories, and the way we do it is that we leave the proteins in. If anything, people are often eating more, and we're cutting the calories from the components of the refined carbs and sugars. We cut those out because that's the energy component, and your body will then generate energy from the other carbs, the more healthy carbs that you're getting, and from fats, and then you'll still be getting more proteins in. So in the next point, you need to maintain protein with meals when you're trying to lose weight. And I've reviewed a lot of people's diet plans over the years, and what I've found, as I mentioned, is that we usually have them eating more. Most people were often getting protein with only 1 to maybe 2 meals per day, which means that their other meals were all just basically empty calories, which led to more cravings, more sugar cravings, ups and downs with their blood sugars, so it means that their energy wasn't stable, and a lot of a loss of muscle tone, which nobody wants. So we cut the carbs, we maintain protein with each meal in adequate amounts, and then we got to discuss exercise. Everyone will say exercise doesn't play a big role with weight loss. Yes, it does. It does play a significant role. In fact, it's the second most important thing. Just because diet plays a bigger role doesn't mean exercise doesn't play a role. That would be like, imagine if you had, a company with a CEO, but then there was no manager, and you're like, well, he doesn't play a role. He's not the CEO. Yeah, he plays a huge role in managing everything else. So exercise plays a big role in improving muscle tone, But here's the thing: when you exercise and you improve that muscle tone, you also will improve the amount of hydration to the muscle. This improvement in hydration will make you feel a lot better. You're going to feel more limber. You're going to feel stronger. But it makes it so that your body's retaining fluid. And it's not an unhealthy type of retaining fluid. It's just better hydrated muscles. This will make it seem, so say if you have a good leg day at the gym and you've been training more legs or large muscle groups, then you go back to your physician and you're like, oh, I didn't lose any weight this week at all, and I don't get it. I'm so frustrated. I've been exercising more than I ever have, and yet I haven't lost any weight. You probably did. You probably lost body fat, but you didn't lose any weight because you've improved the hydration to your muscles by doing that. And the extra water that you're taking in most weight loss diets, we have you drinking more water. That water gets retained in the muscles as part of the recovery repair process. So keep that in mind, which is why we need to talk about measurements. And how do you do the measurements? The best way to measure, I like to pick measurements that you can also easily measure at home, because if it's not simple, you're not going to do it. And there's 4 main spots to measure that you can easily do. So you want to measure around your waist, and this is the narrowest part of your waist. So you go up higher than your hips, and you measure the narrowest part of your waist. And then the important thing for this is that when someone's in perimenopause and menopause and there's changes in their estrogen levels and their progesterone levels, it's around their midsection and their abdomen where they start putting on weight. And that's a sign that hormones are changing. So when we start seeing we're correcting hormones and we're getting you on the weight loss program, that's where you should start to see some changes. And the thing is, you can do all the squats and jumping jacks in the world, but you're not going to be retaining retaining a lot of fluid around your waist. If you are, that's a different issue, and that's more of a problematic issue. So we want to check that. The other part is the widest part of your hips. So even if you're improving muscle tone in your glutes and in your butt, they're still around the hips. You'll still see weight loss there. And then your upper thighs. So it's each thigh, left and right, as high up as you can go, just like so. It's under the butt and kind of like high up into the groin. So those are the 4 spots: waist, hips, upper thigh. So left and right. Those are all spots that are very easy to reach and easy to measure. But now you only want to measure yourself weekly. You can weigh yourself every day if you want to, though I usually only have people do that weekly as well. And I want to get into that. That's about a mindset. You have to know your mindset in terms of what works best for you, because you don't want to become obsessed with the scale. But some people, they do better to measure themselves daily because it's like that daily reminder that they need to stay on track. Other people, if you know that if you're looking at the numbers every day and it makes you frustrated and more likely to give up, then you should only weigh yourself and measure yourself once per week. So generally, I like people to do it on either a Friday or a Monday, depending if they have difficulty with the weekends. If you find that you have difficulty sticking to diets over the weekends, it's probably best to weigh yourself and measure yourself on Monday morning. And the reason is that if you know you've got that measurement day and that weigh day coming up on a Monday, you're going to be a lot more likely to do better over the weekends as opposed to falling off the wagon every single weekend and losing the improvements that you've had. If you find it's more difficult during the week, then it's better to weigh yourself and measure yourself on a Friday, because then again, you need that extra motivation to get through the tricky parts. And there's no denying weight loss involves change. Change is difficult. You need to pull back and get any extra type of motivation that you know works for you. You need to put that in. So you may be thinking, you know what? I've heard these talks before. Yeah, cut out carbs, blah, blah, blah. Try and exercise. And you're like, I've already tried it. And the thing is, most people have tried it, but when I've interviewed a lot of people about this, and most of them, it's like they were always about 80% there. It's making those few fine-tuning things that makes a big difference. Now, the second really important thing is make sure you're writing it down. So write down your exercise, write down what you're eating. It's going to help keep you on track, and it prevents those little slip-ups. A lot of times, people are having these little snacks that they don't think adds up, but when they have to, if they're forced to write that down, first of all, they realize, oh, I'm doing that all the time. Oh, this is a lot of extra calories that I don't need that I'm taking in. And then they're a lot less likely to do it. And you're a lot more motivated to stay on track when you write things down. And finally, again, for all the perimenopause and menopause, if you've done our diet and it's been 2 weeks, so 2 weeks is always kind of the cutoff. If there's no change within 2 weeks, there's a guarantee that you're going to need to test your thyroids, check your hormones, address your sleep, stress, or constipation. And the nice thing with Able Health is that the vast majority of these, if they are concerns for you, we can address them off the start. So you can just go into health conditions, my health conditions, and you select, oh, I've got a sleep issue. Oh, I have stress. Oh, constipation is an issue. And you put in all your medications. It automatically addresses all of that in terms of the recommended diet, supplements, teas, etc., even acupressure points. Everything is accounted for. So make sure if your concern is weight loss and you're filling out your dashboard for your health conditions, don't put just the weight loss. You have to put in any health condition, even if to you it seems unrelated, put it in. And it will make a big difference in terms of your outcome. So this is Doc Yates, and again, reminding you, don't just focus on the scale. Focus on how your clothes are fitting in the measurements. It's going to be a lot more motivating. You're going to start seeing more weekly results, because if there's days or weeks that the scale don't move, I guarantee the inches have moved. Guaranteed. So that way you're seeing some positive results every single week. So this is Doc Yates, signing off.
Thanks for tuning in to Simply Health. If you want to learn more about health, check out Able Health. If you want to see some of the other projects that I've been working on in health, business, music, and life, please check out the links below.